Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Banner and Backbone and Centered America presenting the window of discussion. Today's episode, I think I'd said 8, and we're talking on offense for grounded morals. I'm Nick Perro, joined by my really good friends and colleagues across the board from various publications and networks. I'm here with Banner and Backbone. I'm joined by Sherrod Sweeney, director at Centered America. His co-director will be on here shortly, Gavin Faber. I said his last name right.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then we have our good friend, Evan Fields, who is News from Underground and a Lincoln Square contributor. And our good friend and firebrand Shane Urick from the Firebrand Project, Banner and Backbone, all of the things that you see, and so much good news. Well, terrible news coming out, but great investigation. Is Shane. Shane is like our Chris Goldsmith. He's the bad news fairy of our bunch.
Always bad news.
Always fucking bad news.
I am the bad news fairy.
I'll read the reports and I'm like, wow, this is true, but fuck.
What fuck?
Oh God, Shane, I'm so excited for you to meet Marlon Weems.
Yeah.
Monday. So Marlon Weems is joining Shane Urick and I on Palin Talk on Monday, November 25th, I think it is. Next Monday. I don't know the exact date.
It's coming soon.
It's coming.
Imminently.
Marlon Weems, and
Imminently.
we're going to be talking about Palantir and the finances and like some of the stock sell-offs that Peter Thiel just did with
NVIDIA?
$40 million drop of NVIDIA stock and
Anthropic.
taking almost
Fucking
$200 million out of the stock market or some shit like that just by himself. Like, nutso, dude.
Yeah.
So we're talking on offense with grounded morals. Sherrod, can I have you reintroduce yourself a little bit, and then Evan, reintroduce yourself too. Everyone knows Shane, so I'm going to skip over you. I'm joking, brother. I want you to reintroduce yourself.
It's okay.
So Sherrod, let everyone know so that we can just begin our discussion point once we're all in it,
Sure.
and just go from there. We've been having some great early prep talk.
Yeah, hi, I'm Sherrod Sweeney. I'm the director of Centered America. We're a 501c4 organization, a nationwide organization incorporated in the state of Missouri. We're for defending democracy, resisting authoritarianism, giving resources and independent journalism out to the people. And we just can't wait to keep this fight going and resist what's happening in this administration. And we're happy you're all here today.
Thanks, Sherrod. Great to have you here again, brother. Evan.
Yeah.
And I am Evan. Like Nick said, I work with Lincoln Square, a great pro-democracy media organization, and I run my own Substack, News from Underground. A lot of political and media critique and, News from Underground, the deep and dark and dirty stuff. I'm excited to be here with you guys.
Really great to have you. And Shane?
I am Shane Urick. I am the founder of the Firebrand Project. I do a lot of things these days. I kind of find myself living in the world of the deep state and corporate corruption. I'm spending way too much time trying to figure out what Jared Kushner is up to just about everywhere right now. It's consuming my research, and I just put out the first of the Kushner files. So if you haven't read them, go read them, because MBS was just in the White House, and it's all about how Jared Kushner made him the crown prince. So if you're wondering why that motherfucker was there, it was Jared Kushner. He did it. He was there. So that's what I'm doing right now. I do the Firebrand Report every day, Monday through Friday. I talk about the crazy stuff, then I help put it all together. We're putting together the pieces of the puzzle in the great game. And I am kind of a bad news fairy, but I give it to you with a smile. And I will never say that we're done yet. So I may give you bad news, but we're not done. We just got to keep talking about it. But come join us at the Firebrand Project and let's talk about some shit. Let's do it.
He never sugarcoats it. That's the best part. I think that a lot of people are sugarcoating what's going on rather than actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Except
it's good not to
Sugar sucks.
I put chocolate sauce in my coffee, not sugar. You got to coat it all. You can't just sprinkle sugar on it. You either cover it up, which we can't do.
Pure cacao. Pure
Pure, straight from the source. Shane
Purely
goes
extracted
to
resources from Latin America.
from
Yeah,
the global south.
Shane drives down to Panama every month to get fresh cacao and then comes back up. He skips Nicaragua. He goes all the way down to Panama because he knows where the good shit is from.
He's the resource trap. He's doing it.
I am the problem. I am the problem. I
Car-
asked Gerald
Shane is the
Ford.
caravan. Well, as
I'm
we
sorry,
get on
I'm already
that note,
derailing the entire conversation.
we're derailing ourselves early. No, that's fine. It's good to have some good laughs and joy while we're doing this because a lot of the shit that gets talked about in the media sucks. And I wanted to bring up a topic that I started yesterday with Walter Ryan, was around the use of the word regressive over conservative. And is it just a marketing ploy or is it actually like an empathy thing? Because somebody called me out and was like, this is like normalizing strategy over empathy. And I was like, well, not really. Like, pulling on the heartstrings of somebody because you labeled them the correct word isn't just strategy. It's both. Like, can't it be both? And so I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on the idea of like regressive versus conservative. Is it an important distinction? Do we care? Could we rebrand the Republican Party to say the Regressive Nationalist Committee instead of the RNC being what they are now? Like, is that going on offense? Does that show any moral grounding? I think it does. And I'll definitely go into my opinion, but I want your guys' first because I don't want to take over this conversation.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll jump in first, I guess. I think that when we're thinking about regressive versus conservative, we don't want to regress even further, because what happened before Donald Trump, we don't want to go back to. We don't want to regress. We can't have the Republican Party be the same as it was before Trump because that's what got us here in the first place. We wouldn't be here if the Republican Party wasn't the Republican Party that it was during the Obama administration. That kind of set up what we are seeing now. And so I think it's important, though, to make the distinction between regressive and conservative because there's a difference between a Republican that's defending the Constitution that doesn't want it to break and a Republican that doesn't care. We're seeing with Marjorie Taylor Greene this, like, how can we tell that her actions are pure or how can we tell that she's actually wanting change? And we don't quite know. And I think it's different for a lot of people. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a nationalist Republican. We're never going to agree, but there's going to be some issues that we do agree on, like the Epstein files, like the Epstein file release. And so we have to pick our battles where we can actually get them and join together. So that's what I'll say at first.
Yeah, I think that's a smart way to approach it, is like picking your battles, because I think we even saw yesterday with the press conference that she was doing, even with like the stances that she's made lately that kind of seem a little bit more progressive or even like just conservative, that she was still defending Trump, that she was still using that language of this is a man I defended, and she was still making talking points about how she believed in the MAGA movement. So somebody like that can't be the leader of conservatives going forward. We need somebody that's going to defend the Constitution and believe in those things. And I'm not buying that she is all of a sudden changed by any means. I think that she's definitely a regressive conservative and that she wants to go backwards, not forward. And she doesn't want to preserve anything that, is sacred to democracy. So I think that's definitely a good point, is we have to take it step by step, especially with people like her.
I think Marjorie Taylor Greene is full of eagle jizz a lot of the time, is what we call it.
Yeah.
Performative patriotism is like it's politicking at its worst, is what she does a lot. Um, with that said, and not a but and for this, because there's an important distinction between but and. We like to tell our kids is everything that you say after the word but negates what you just said. And so Marjorie Taylor Greene is a regressive. She is trying to tear apart the Constitution. She has been for a long time. She helped start the MAGA movement. And she is currently supporting the survivors of the Epstein saga, pedophilia, rape, abuse, and destruction of those young girls, now women's lives, and boys, I'm assuming too, in there that we just haven't heard about or aren't really talked about. And again, I'll say this is if there are any boys who are now men who were part of this and want to reach out and have like and are willing to discuss this in a either in a private setting or in public, I'd be willing to discuss it. Like as harmful as that conversation may be to hear, like emotionally at times, because it'll be breaking. Because I have a son and I have a daughter, and I was a kid once. Is I think it's important that we have those powerful voices out there and saying those stories. So if there's anyone who wants to come forward, please, I'm open to it. I believe you. I want to hear your story so that it never happens again.
Yeah.
She helped enable all of that, but she's against it right now. It's like she's actively fighting against it. She is actively fighting against pedophilia and helping to take down the regime that is currently in power. She's a political tool. Can we just use her as one? Like, we're forming a small coalition for a moment. We just we're not linking arms. We're just saying the enemy of my enemy is still my enemy, but they're my current ally.
Yeah.
I think, but I didn't mean to cut you off, Sherrod, but I did want to. I watched a great show of Democracy-ish yesterday. I'm driving back from, spending time, had a great evening with my family. So I decided to ruin it by, looking at what's going on in the world. But I watched a great episode of Democracy-ish, and they were talking about MTG. And they brought up how in 2021, she chased around a Parkland shooting victim with a fake gun on Capitol Hill.
It was David Hogg, I think.
David Hogg.
Okay.
Yeah, not just any Parkland shooting victim, but fucking
Right.
David Hogg.
Right. So, and they're talking about how when she was in the fucking in the house and she refused to take off her hat because it was decorum. I mean, she fucking sucks. Like, you can run the tapes on MTG. She doesn't just get to go on Fox with Dana Bash and be like, I regret a lot of my decisions and I'm a changed woman. I think we all need to come together. Fuck you, MTG. You're a bitch, okay? But you are, like Nick said, and like they said very clearly here, just like Adam Kinzinger, she saw the way the wind was blowing, and she took it. Adam did it a lot earlier, for better or for worse, but it's the same thing, okay? Like, I want to be very clear. If you're a Republican and you leave, and whether you read the room earlier or later, like, no one should be criticizing her right now for attacking Trump. Let her do it. We got plenty of receipts to tear her ass up later, okay? Like, we got plenty of things, like, but nobody should be coming out at MTG, because the last thing we want her to do is to go back into the fold and just like regress. Like, let her fight. Let them kill each other. It's the Hunger Games. Let the District 2 people kill the District 1 people. They're gonna kill us if we try and fight them. Let them do it. Because what did it was Danielle? She's like, I don't give a fuck how the regime comes down. I don't care if we tear it down with a national strike. I don't care if MAGA destroys itself from within. As far as MTG goes, everything that she will bring past what she's doing for us in this moment is regressive. She is entirely regressive. She is a white nationalist. She said on CNN they should bring on Nick Fuentes. Like, what the fuck? Like, there is no meeting her in the middle. There is no political discussion with Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is a racist. She is a psychopath, white nationalist, and I would never willingly spend more time in a room with her than I would ever need, because she's fucking reeks morally and probably physically from chasing around Parkland shooting victims all the time with fake weapons and never taking off her MAGA hat even to shower. So that's what I got for that. A little spicy this morning. I apologize.
Yeah, and I
Don't
think
apologize. Don't
yeah.
apologize.
Don't apologize. I think what we're seeing, though, is I think they're seeing that MAGA is coming down crashing, and they have two choices. They can either join this America First bullshit that's still white nationalist, or they can go, maybe I can work with the Democrats, who have kind of also helped support corporate interest and donor interests. And so they can fit their way in because they are also, they are too supporting corporate interests. And I think we need to ask this question.
Whoa.
Oh, Shane's falling.
Whoa. Hey, Carl. He gets confused. It's okay. We'll figure it out, Carl. There you go. All right. I got a new camera. He gets confused sometimes. He's got.
It's so funny. I think we have to just ask the question: if they are for America, what America? What Americans are they for? Are they for the immigrants in ICE facilities? Are they for transgender individuals? Are they for and they are not. And we have to ask that question, because that's what's going to be the tell all. And we also have to treat it like an addiction. And I've been kind of writing a lot about that. Recovery from MAGA, if we treat it like a drug, doesn't happen just because an addict is pushed into it or told what they should do. And typically, no amount of facts about the damage of a drug will make someone see that they have to quit. And I don't think with MAGA, any facts about the damage that it's causing to anybody is going to make them see that they need to quit MAGA. And so recovery really only happens when they see it for themselves. And so you can have an instance where MAGA is crashing, where there is real recovery. And what does that look like? How do we do two things at once? It's not black and white. We have to say, we're going to condemn you for all the bullshit that you have hurt people with, but we want to see that your actions actually align with protecting marginalized people. Will it protect marginalized people? And I think it's very complex, and it has to do with each individual's own ability to see that for themselves.
Yeah, and whether they're going to double down into that new street drug that just came out, Nick Fuentes. I mean, we see the race to the bottom, and we saw kind of a lightened up version. Well, not lightened up, but more of a Christianity polished version with Charlie Kirk. And then that vacuum came along with Nick Fuentes, and now it's like new dope just hit the street, and they're fully energized again, and they're ready to go. And I think part of it with Marjorie Taylor Greene is the economic aspect of it. Like, she needs politics, or else she just goes back to bumfuck Georgia to being just some regular racist back home and everything. So I think that she's got to kind of toe the line with re-election and everything. And without her being able to move up into the Senate, like Trump was talking about, where he gave her the no-go on that, she's realizing that she kind of has to play the moral line with re-election coming up and with the polling that has been coming out. But I wonder, how it's going to divide. And I think that's going to be good for progressives and for Democrats, is that civil war and that internal fracture with who's going to line up with Nick Fuentes and who's going to go more like a bipartisan route for this post-Trump world that we're about to see.
I'm really worried, and I think it's honestly scary because America First really masks itself as this old Republican Party, and people have been dying for that. They've been wanting to have any sort of cross-partisan, like bipartisanship. And so, seeing that these people are like, no, we're moral now, we want to work with you, makes people like want to work with them when they shouldn't. They're still white nationalist Republicans. Like, that is what they want. And it masks itself as being able to work with you. And but there is this balance that's happening. We have to take moments like this and navigate a really complicated balance, because MAGA is breaking rapidly. And we have to decide, are they going into this America first, this street drug like Evan is talking about, or are they actually going to acknowledge what they did before, how it's hurt people?
Yeah, and going to a comment in the chat too is like, one of them anyways is about Jewish space lasers. Like, MTG,
Yeah.
like, we can't forget, I'm culturally Jewish. My family can trace its origins back. We have Ashkenazi Jewish traits. We know we are. Like, we know our family's history and legacy. I'm not going to forgive her in any fucking way for saying that Jewish space lasers caused wildfires in California, because that's racist, that's anti-Semitic and racist as fuck, and bigoted and hated as shit.
Yeah.
She has to earn trust back. And part of this conversation is, how do you earn trust back? Like, and when do we get to a point where, like, trust means like the difference between like Joe Walsh? Like, I have trust in some of the things that Joe Walsh is doing. A lot of the things he's putting in a lot of effort to not undermine the Constitution currently. He erred really badly. Like, the Tea Party moment brought about MAGA, and he's spent the last almost decade trying to recuperate himself and undo a lot of that damage. He also has a lot different views personally now than he did decades ago. And how do we accept what Joe Walsh's new version of conservatism could look like compared to what like conservatism is defined as currently? Because there's a lot of hate and a lot of emotion that comes with the word conservative right now, and it's a lot of negative emotion. Like, most people hear conservative and they hear, ugh, these fucking people, they're Nazis, they're bigots, they're hateful, they like pedophiles. That's why I like calling them regressive now, because they like regressive things. They want to take away our social services, they want to take away our healthcare, food benefits, retirements, 401ks, pensions, anything, unions, any ability to like workers' rights, shit like that. So they regress, which is much different than conservative. And is Joe Walsh a true conservative? And what does that actually mean? Like, what do we do? How do we define conservatism without framing it in right-wing, like real right-wing bullshit? Because I believe there's a progressive conservatism. Like, conserving means to protect and defend and ensure that the longevity of something is able to be sustained. Like, conservationists are conservative by nature.
I think that it stems from, there a lot of conservatives are constitutionalists and preserving and defending and conserving the rights that are afforded to Americans within the Constitution, within the Bill of Rights, and all of that. And we're not seeing that from hardly any of them at this point. We're not seeing it from the Supreme Court. They're not conserving any rights, even though they have a supposed conservative majority. So yeah, I think the entire party is just acting regressively right now. The things about, I do think that people like Joe Walsh, I think Rick Wilson's a true conservative. I think that that he's about conserving rights and conserving the protections of this country. But do you think that there's like small litmus tests that you can make along the way for people to like whether they are actually practicing these things?
I mean, I think it's hard because like there is like at this point, what is conservatism? I mean, they like, I say this a lot, I've repeated this, words are the lens with which we like shape reality. Okay. So what they call themselves versus what they actually are is entirely different. And so even what Joe Walsh is versus what is a fucking conservative? What are you, bro? Are you Tea Party? Are you conservative? Like, what are you now? Like, they're not conservative. They're not Republicans. Republicans are, they're white collar criminal gangster enablers. They're part of a criminal syndicate that has taken over the executive branch and has leveraged extreme power over the two other branches of government, which has absolutely shown that our government is deeply flawed. If a singular if a mob can take over the White House and then pressure the Supreme Court and leverage Congress to do whatever the fuck they want, that's not conservative, right? But what is conservative? What is the litmus test? I think our issue here is like, I'm conservative. I believe we should stick to the fucking Constitution. I believe that we should keep the government out of regulating people's lives. That's being conservative. What's being conservative is the government sticking to its primary functions and minding their own fucking business. What's the government's job? Build real functional infrastructure. Why are all of our fucking roads falling apart and we're giving $40 billion to Argentina? What the fuck is going on? They're not conservative. They don't get titles. Regressive is absolutely correct. Joe Walsh, okay, don't be a fucking conservative, be a real.
So are we post conservative? Are we moving to where we can start actually creating new definitions of what we are? Like,
yeah,
I don't want to be a
absolutely.
conservative or a liberal, to be honest, or a progressive in most ways. Like, I just want to be like, who are we? Can we define? Because then that gives us a platform to really build off of for this project. Like, I want to build a Project 2075. It's a derivative name, yes, but I want to build a 75 where we can become a social democracy where the system takes care of us and itself.
And at
And
this
we
point,
utilize-
we have no other choice but to progress and be progressive.
We have to move
So is
forward.
progressive the new just standard definition of ourselves? Like, are we finally able to say we're progressives? Because I know I just said, I don't know if I want to be, but like, I've labeled myself a progressive over a Democrat my entire life. I believe in progressing values. Like, my tag on Substack is I want to conserve the freedoms of speech and freedoms to dignity and the rights and liberties to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You can't pursue happiness if you're being oppressed. That's not what the government is for. And so I just want to move past conservative, I guess, and liberal. I want us to be in a post-conservative and liberal society, because those are just grossly destroyed words that have so much fucking messed up connotations that right-wingers bank on. And I'm so tired of framing our lives in their opinions and what they have to say. They've gaslit us for generations, and I'm just tired of it. So progressive and regressive. But what does that leave those who are like Joe? Like, I like Joe Walsh. I believe him. He has a friend who is transgender and who he hosts shows with quite often, and he has shifted his opinions in quite a few ways. And he was open when Lawrence Winterman and I had a very honest discussion with him and pushed back on Israel and what we thought is a genocide and possible Holocaust going on. And we pushed back against him in the discussion, and he was willing to have that debate. And it had a centered value that people's lives were important. And that's like, I want to take that. They think they have a moral majority, but they don't. And how do we define a moral majority that's real?
Yeah. And Shane might not like this, but I also think that people like Adam Kinzinger are technically more progressive now. Look, he's done a lot of shit in the past, but I've watched him speak. I saw him fight back against the Proud Boys when I was there at the Principles First Summit in DC. I saw them threaten his life, and they emailed this thing where they were saying that they put bombs in his mailbox. Like he fought back against Enrique Tarrio, and it was just like we want to define our role. And when we started Centered America, the first thought was we want to reform the Democratic Party into being the party for progressives, for the progressive movement, for these conservatives into progressives that do want to progress this country, that do want to conserve the Constitution, that do want to reform their views, because we don't want to think that we don't want to go back. Like we don't want to regress, and even trying to define the role in the way of, is conservative how it used to be? Are we going back? Are we going to go back to the Republican Party under the Obama administration that led us here, or are we going to think of let's try and make these conservatives a little bit more progressive? Let's try and not bring them into our tent, but try and figure out a way where their new ways of recovering are, we're going to open our arms just a little bit so that you are able to come with us and work towards the fight. Because I think it's going to be a different way of working together.
I need them to break the Republican Party apart and
Mhm.
form multiple parties, because then the Democratic Party can break apart too. I think that's really what we need, is we need to move past the current system of Congress that we have and progress towards a more parliamentarian, coalition-based system where coalitions are not formed before the elections, they're formed after the elections, like most parliamentarian systems are, which allows us to create new governments within the government at times when it's needed. Like if there is a coalition point when we need to, say, align ourselves for a political gain with MTG or Thomas Massey, that is okay. And it allows us to make smaller coalition groups that have true power, and your voice is actually represented. Plus, we also need to expand the House of Representatives. Lawrence Winterman has a really good thought on how to do that. There's like an actual empirical number that you can get to based on the percentage of population, and ours should be somewhere around 750 representatives right now. And that would also solve gerrymandering. Just in itself, it would make districts tiny and basically solve gerrymandering on its own. But anyways, what do you guys think about the idea of, if you want to take the Democratic Party and turn it into a progressive party and take it over from within, should we be encouraging Adam Kinzinger and Joe Walsh and folks like that to make a new constitutionalist party, or whatever party that makes the Republicans go the way of the Whigs and the Democrats go the way of the Whigs?
It's controversial. This, I'll say like 5 seconds. I think this is a controversial take, but the first past the post system, our two-party system, it's really difficult to change. I want to change it, so I think I would say that I want them to run as Democrats, but I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Right now, I think they have to run as Democrats.
Yeah.
But then
I would encourage them to run as Democrats.
But we need to break the parties.
Yeah.
Somehow.
And I think that right now we have to work within the system, like Sherrod's saying that. But I think that if we were able to break that two-party system, that's going to do nothing but help empathy shine through, because then you're going to have good policy breakthrough, and you're going to have more ideas exchanged and more options for the people, and you're going to see those less empathetic takes and those less empathetic political positions like MAGA policies and everything, you're going to see those kind of fall back to the wayside. And I think that, I don't know that we could eventually get there. I think it's a great idea and everything. I think that it would be better for our country. But I do think that people like Adam Kinzinger, they should run as Democrats right now. I do think that they could possibly run as independents, but I think that there's a place for them going forward. I think that they show that they have the empathy and the caring about the working class and regular people that people like Marjorie Taylor Greene aren't going to show.
It's hard. Okay, like obviously everyone knows I have beef with AK. Okay, I clearly don't like the man. Okay.
I've had
And
to
I have
smoke
not,
for him in the past too.
I
Trust
have,
me, I
I've
have it
not
for
been
anybody
quiet
and
about it.
everybody.
He's fucking stupid rich. Okay. He's made so much money ever since he left Congress. Stupid money. Midas Touch made a documentary with him. He's the last Republican. If we want him, and if you know what, like, to be fair to you, Sherrod, and your point, because if you want me to embrace him with open arms, and I'm hard to please. I get it. Renounce the Republican Party. Don't make a documentary calling yourself the last Republican. Let it go, bro. Let it go. And donate all your fucking money to help people, like, do things with your money. Like I don't know. Like I am struggling because, like, he's still being the person he was before. He's just in a position where he can garner sympathy and support, and he saw the opportunity first. Like, if you tally up the percentage of votes that he supported everything with, right next to Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's maybe 3 or 4 percentage points different. Okay, the only different, they didn't pass that much legislation. Okay, the only real difference is when he jumped ship. He jumped ship before we started throwing tea, right? He saw he was decided to go and walk. He was an Aaron Burr, okay? So he sat quietly until the time was right for him to have to pick a side at the last minute. And yes,
I'm glad he picked, and he
I'm
picked the
glad
right side.
a side, and I'm glad he picked the not fascist Nazi side. And I'm sorry that his decision to ally so long with white nationalists drew the ire and the violence that comes with white nationalism. That sucks. I'm sorry. But, like, they also threatened to execute Democrats. That's not like an exclusive thing. Everyone on the other side of the aisle
They have executed
violence,
Democrats.
had to deal with that shit. All the Republicans were talking about that shit. Like, let's talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. We need to both, it's the same shit to me. And I appreciate that it's helpful now. And if he wants support from everyone, let go of the Republican. Don't be the last Republican. Be something different. Be the bridge.
Well-
You got to be the bridge. And the names matter. Names matter. Republicans, like Nick said, the party has to die. And that's my thing. Is I see a lot of people with the two-party system. Democrats, if the Democrats want to stay Democrats, they need to reform. They need to purge. They need to get rid of the Schumers and the Pelosi's. Keep the Warrens. She's fantastic. You know, keep the Crockett's, keep the AOC's, but get rid of and of the slop, the garbage that's weighing down the only opposition there is. Rebrand. I think, actually, I've told Nick before, if there's ever going to be a year of the dark horse, it's now. If you want to run as an independent, I think Democratic Socialists should come out and say, I'm a Democratic Socialist. Mamdani is the golden ticket. He won. People came out. 1 million New Yorkers voted for Zohran Mamdani. That's almost as many as came out in the previous election. It works. The model works. And I'm not saying that anything other. If you want to form a coalition right now, Democrats and Democratic Socialists, that is your bridge to a coalition right now. There are things in place. My perspective is I kind of live to be a little contrarian. I don't know. That's just me. But at the same time, I see the value in backing Democrats. And I see the value in them being the only platform that exists right now. We need to do something else. And that's my opinion. And I respect everybody here a lot. And I might be kind of disagreeing with you, but the end goal for us is all the same. And yeah, I that's just my take. I think that we have to move away quickly and aggressively. This is not a time for towing the line because the stakes are so high. The stakes are global. It's not just us. It's every single country. These people are destroying the world actively. And, you know, we can't play nice. The stakes are way too high for us to toe the line and stretch this out 10, 15 years. We don't have that time. I wish we did. I wish we had the luxury, but it's all in. We have to save America. We have to save the world because America has our fucking fingers in everybody's goddamn business. And now the people who are play in the hands, they're bad people. So it's on us to play hardball and change the game.
Yeah. Honestly, Shane, I think we agree more than we disagree. And I think we point that out with people like Lev Parnas, right? He was an ex-Giuliani associate, sentenced to 20 months in prison for investor fraud, wire fraud, investor crimes.
I love
and
Lev. I think
you
he's
love
great.
Lev,
Lev's a super
and you
cool
love
dude.
Lev,
I do.
right? You love him, but what's to say that that's not also happening with Lev, like we're talking about it happening with AK? And we can't go in this like black or white scenario where, okay, are they capitalizing on the Democratic Party and being a progressive, or are they actually recovering? And, to say that we're going to let Lev in, but not AK, it makes no sense. Because yes, AK has done some bullshit. So has Lev. He worked alongside Trump. He's worked alongside Giuliani. I like Lev. I like Adam Kinzinger because I know that they've switched, and I've seen the recovery, and I've seen how they talk. I've seen him put $2.2 million into running Republicans that are against Donald Trump, that are the conservative movement. I've seen him do that work. And I think I don't want to be hypocritical.
I think where Shane might be coming from on this, and maybe where I'm coming from, is I would rather him put that money to build a new party.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, we keep being told we can't. Why? Why can't we though? Like, why can't we?
Yeah.
If we broke, let's just say this. Let's say Texas Republicans broke down into four different parties. Like 4 different parties. They just broke down into 4 parties. And now Republicans no longer have a majority because now there's 5, 6 parties in Congress. Okay, well, that means the Democratic Socialist candidates who ran under the name of Democrat, you're free to break apart now too. Like, once somebody does it, the floodgates open. Like, we keep being told we can't do things in America. You can't have health care. You can't have these nice things. You can't do this. Well, fuck that. I was told I grew up with the American dream. My father beat that into us in the best ways. He taught us so much good information and so much knowledge, and countered that knowledge too with the bad. He told us the good and the bad about American history. He learned it, and he learned it well, and he taught us well. And all he told me was, you have the power to live the American dream in this country, which means stop fucking telling us why we can't and why we shouldn't. I want people to start asking the question, why haven't we done it?
Yeah.
How?
Motherfucking Citizens United. That's how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so I know it's how, but at the same time, like, billionaires, there's a couple of you on the Democratic side. I know you like want to call yourselves progressive. Okay, well then start a progressive party. If enough people came together on the citizen side and just said, we're starting a new party, and every state just went, well, I like my local politics a little bit more, so my state socialist party or my state Democratic Socialist Party, now we're on the state ticket. And instead of being a Democrat, you're a Democratic Socialist. And you have to form fucking coalitions while you're in the government. And that is how we choose the Speaker of the House, like through real coalition building after elections. We got to stop fucking living in this old tradition of forming coalitions before elections as the end all be all of politicking. That's the 50+1 crap that we're told has to be the final solution of our political party system. Like, why are we giving them the power to control? The highest rank of office in this country is voter. They rank. We have a caste system in this country. It's 3 castes. It's voter, non-voter, who is either exclusively eliminated from the process of voting or just chooses not to vote, and public servant. You live under us. You are our servants. You are servants to the public will. And if we decide we don't want Democratic and Republicans, then why the fuck do we have to listen to what they say? They break the Constitution all the time. Why can't we just meaningfully go, we want this because it's for the Constitution, and just do
What's
it?
your take, Evan?
What's your take on that, Evan?
I think it all comes back to money, man. Exactly what Sherrod and Shane were talking about. I think with so much money in politics, I think that there needs to be less money, more transparency. Or if there is going to be money, there needs to be more transparency. Because I think that there's problems with money, because I think there is a sense of protectionism. Like once people get to a level of like an Adam Kinzinger or something, I think that there's kind of like an, oh shit, like I got to kind of like stay here so I'm good kind of thing. But I also think that, you know, with somebody like Lev Parnas spending money and everything to try and make up for misdeeds that he did in the past, that there's two sides to the same coin. You know what I mean? So like I want money out of politics. I want people to just be back to being actual public servants, and us being able to tell like who's good and who's in this for the right reasons, because there's no money in it. You know what I mean? Like people don't join the army to get rich. They might join the army to get opportunity or a solid paycheck and everything like that. But there's a sense of public service in it. And I think that's what we're missing from politics right now, is there's so much fucking money and there's so much interest in shareholder value and growing revenue for shareholders and lobbyists donating to campaigns. And I think that there's so much money in the two-party system that's why you get things like creating coalitions and everything before, because they're trying to shore up the money in one spot. So I think that, you know, if we build coalitions after it's already, the voters have decided and everything, so you're building coalitions based on what the people have voted for. I've got a like serious problem with money in politics. It leaves everything open to corruption. And I think that we've seen it on both sides, where it's infected the way that public servants work for the people and their idea of working for the people. And I think that if we can solve that, then we can start to get back to a place to where we can like actually trust people. And we don't have those questions about like, oh, he made $10 million off of this. And you know what I mean? I think that then we'll be able to see people's true intentions for it if we get like the billions of dollars out of politics.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, Evan. Like I have to say, I'll make it quick, Sharon. You know, it's true. And I think one of the things I find every day, and it's probably the most disheartening part of my job, is just how you're so right. I mean, it's not even funny, dude. It's just everything's bought.
Public
Everything's
servants
paid.
shouldn't be celebrities, and I feel like that's what they've become.
Yeah. They're not public servants, though. They're private interests. The government is a private interest. Like I said in the beginning, the executive branch has become a criminal syndicate that is extorting the rest of the government. And that's what it is. We don't have a government. We have a mob. We literally have a mob. Like it just is. Like their actions under scrutiny, if we look at anything with the magnifying glass, it's criminal activity. It's straight up like this. There's no governance going on. It's crime. It's all crime. And it's so disheartening sometimes, because you're like, dude, like, where do I go? Even the Democratic Party. I mean, like, it's the same. It's so disheartening. But we have to, like, that's the whole thing, is where we need to, Citizens United. If you can strike down one, brick out of the wall, we can pull it apart. But there has to be a place to start, and that has to be somewhere. And I think that we're kidding ourselves if we think that these people. There's a lot of people who I was watching. She's called Your Weirdo Friend, and she did a live stream. I actually really like her. She's very smart. And I watched her live. There's only like 15 people. If you haven't watched her, go follow her Substack.
She's been on a couple lives with our friends.
Teacher. Yeah, she's a community college teacher who teaches basically linguistics, but basically her job is understanding propaganda. and she was talking about something called forced teaming. Right. And it's where you basically, that's what America is, right? You're forced team, Democrat or Republican. And it's how they use emotions to drive decisions. We're all emotional. That's just how we work. So we can, and it's like you say, if I want to deliver truth, I have to deliver it with emotion. I have to deliver my truth with emotion, because if I want you to see the truth of the corruption, I need to be mad about it. So we can both be mad about it. If we're not mad, if I'm just trying to have a logical, fact-based discussion with you, the chance of me succeeding is much lower than if I am appealing to your anger at the fact that you're being robbed. Well, if you call someone a billionaire or a robber baron, they're different. I love it when you call the billionaires dragons, Nick. I think it's perfect. They're greedy fucks sitting on their gold, but it makes you feel, if billionaire versus a dragon, they're different things. And I guess so with that, it's we can move the goalposts somewhere else. And when you say Republicans have to become Democrats, they've been forced teamed for years, and overcoming that, it might be easier for them to become something else than to become a Democrat. It really might. It might actually be a faster path than to convince, even if the Democrats aren't what they are, even if they offload the Schumers and the Pelosi's. There's 30-40% of those people that will never, ever, because their whole life, they have been a Republican, and the Democrats are the devil, and it's their emotions, it's their feelings, it's their core, it's their heart. And they might be willing to be a Democratic socialist,
or
because that's
a
not
reformist
a
party
or a
member.
reformist, or the Reformist Party, or a constitutional American.
Yeah, like,
but they're not going to be a Democrat.
It's like when people talk about the horseshoe and like how the left feeds into each other. People are going to be much more comfortable just skipping from here to here than going through the whole process of like going back down to become a Democrat.
Yeah, like, why make it difficult to change the narrative if we can do the easy step of appealing to the voters who don't freaking vote? Like, I'm tired of appealing to MAGA. How about we appeal to the people who are disaffected voters? Like, just exclusively to them. Like, if if they're afraid of either the Republican or the Democratic Party, then we need to give them third, fourth, and fifth options now. Then they will become affected voters, because then they'll be like, oh, I see somebody who represents me. Yes, go to runforsomething.net. Learn how to run as a local candidate for your state under a different party from the Democratic or Republican Party, if you can, and if you have a local one. I'm okay with doing that. Like, let's stop. Why do I need to prop up the Democratic Party? Like, why do I need to prop them up? They haven't fucking done anything for me. They literally just gave away healthcare for my friends. Like, Melissa Corrigan's healthcare tripled because of this. She is a friend of mine. This impacts people I fucking know. Like, why do I care? They just capitulated on the entire reason for shutting down the government, which was to ensure that healthcare subsidies stayed in place. They gave up on that. And in that capitulation, what I think just happened was a well-coordinated effort by the Republican Party under the guise of unity to all vote for the Epstein files, so that the Democrats could have pressured them into revealing exactly which one of them voted for it and not. They got away with all voting for it and got cover. The Democratic Party keeps covering for the Republican Party. And I'm tired of being told I need to donate to them. I need to care about what they do. My local Democratic Party, sure, they do good stuff. The Arkansas Democratic Party won a seat this past election cycle for the first time in like 20 years. They're doing good stuff. The National Democratic Party hasn't done shit. Can we just get rid of it? Like, can we stop caring what they want and what they're doing until they reflect our values? I'll come back when they're willing to listen.
Yeah.
But until then, I think we need more options. And I think it's time to stop asking ourselves, why shouldn't we? And we should be asking ourselves, how do we? And I think
There we
one
go.
of the ways that we ask ourselves that is, Evan, I know we don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to pose this question, but I want to definitely have you back like always, because, open invite to come back is, how can we work with groups like Lincoln Square? Because Banner and Backbone's a small group. Centered America is bigger than us, but is still a smaller group. How do we work with groups like Lincoln Square, and specifically with reformists or constitutionalists like Rick Wilson and Bobby Jones and the team at Lincoln Square, to make something that people would want to vote for? Like, I want to give people something that they want to vote for. And Democrat and Republican people hate. They just hate it. The Democratic Party nationally has, what, a 19% approval rating, lower than the fucking fascist regime. Like, why do I defend that? Why should I defend that? Instead, I can defend Rick Wilson and say Bobby Jones for president, because I would love Bobby Jones to run for president, or for governor.
Absolutely.
I think Bobby
On board.
Jones for governor against like Nancy Mace in a race. Bobby Jones would wipe the fucking floor with her.
Bobby's
Wipe
I
the
love that
floor.
dude.
Bobby Jones would be the best governor of South Carolina. Bobby Jones, if you're listening, please run as a constitutionalist for South Carolina, and we will figure out a way to make a third party or a fourth party or five. Like, how do we get help from folks like you guys with bigger platforms to do these things, to get this out instead of asking why can't we? How do we?
I will say that having these specific discussions and getting them into larger platforms and everything, I do think that that's how we get this out there. And I will say, without revealing too much, that there are, as we get into this next year and ahead of the midterms and everything, you're going to see a lot more from Lincoln Square, because I know that one of the things.
Well, Lincoln Square is great. I love the work you guys do.
No,
I promote you
absolutely.
guys so much because of it.
One thing that I will say is, with Lincoln Square, it's still like in those early phases, and I do see the plans coming into that, but it's still I think that, because I'm getting wordy and rambling, but I know that it gets kind of attached to the Lincoln Project, you know what I mean? And people see how much work the Lincoln Project has done. And with Lincoln Square, it's still a little bit more in the early phases, but I know that this next year that there are big things planned, and that there are some personnel moves that are in the works and everything that will help bolster the image of Lincoln Square. And I think that will give us the opportunity to match some of the things that places like Midas Touch are doing. And with some of those organizations, I do have issues, because I think that they have the funding and the visibility and everything. And I think that it's on them, and places like the Bulwark and Vox and some other places, it's on them, because I could go on about this for hours, but I get frustrated with these people. I just saw the Bulwark. I think it was Tim Miller. Somebody posted it the other day. They were having a discussion about where's the Joe Rogan of the left? Like, where's the better influence for young men? It's right fucking here. It's right here. There's four people right here sitting in this room giving progressive ideas, talking about democracy. It's on organizations like that to promote voices like ours, and to give us the visibility to be able to promote these ideas, because we have them. We have what corporate media is looking for, or what they say they're looking for. We have what America is looking for and everything. I think that it's just on those organizations to promote voices like your guys's, and do collaborations with Centered America, and do collaborations with Banner and Backbone, especially ahead of the midterms. But what I will say is that there are things coming up this year that I don't want to be a blabbermouth about, but there are good things coming from Lincoln Square that I think will help raise our visibility and give us like the opportunity to reach the public more and promote more voices than just the core that's kind of operating right now.
Yeah, I think that's great. Thank you, Evan.
But yeah,
Windows.
Midas Touch. Fucking promote
something,
independent
guys.
voices. Help people.
Like-
you guys make like $2 million a month. I know it.
So much money, dude.
Yeah,
So much
like,
money.
help us out, guys. Like it shouldn't always be on us as we continue to do this work to have to reach out to bigger networks. Bigger networks, you guys have research teams and like visibility teams to see other contributors growing, and you can offer to support them. You can offer to become founding subscribers to them and donate a chunk of money per year to their Substack or in other ways. Like if someone wanted to be a founding subscriber for Sick of This Shit Publications, for like that sort of thing, like a large founding subscriber like that, fuck yeah. As long as I maintain independence to do my work and you want to promote and you're willing to promote, but you guys they have to reach out to, and I see some of them doing it. I see Lincoln Square, like Evan, you got onto Lincoln Square. Like that, to me, that's part of that reach out. You're part of the community that they are growing and building. I see what Chris Goldsmith is doing and the Find Out podcast guys, and what Chris Goldsmith's new On Offense podcast just dropped today is on the Valor Media Network too. Like these are bigger platforms that are working to promote masculine voices and feminine voices, but for a lot of us it's the need. There's a very big void of good positive masculinity out there, and they're promoting masculinity in a positive way and helping smaller contributors become larger.
And if I can just jump in real quick, Nick,
Yeah.
One of the things that them giving people like us visibility does is it helps bolster our image, and not necessarily, I mean, from a monetary aspect, it helps with more subscribers and everything, but that helps lighten the load on us and make our work better too. Because with people like us, we're doing the editing, the voicing,
making the
visuals,
backgrounds.
We're doing all the work that those organizations have, like multiple people to focus on each one of those aspects. So
yeah,
that visibility only helps people like you guys to be better and put out better work.
Yeah, and to help bolster that visibility, because that's part of what we do here too, is we're going to do our QR codes here. So please join us, y'all. First, we're going to do Banner and Backbones. I'm going to. I did it right this time. I figured
I
out
always
the
mess it up.
that way to me, right of my picture is the QR code for Banner and Backbone, which is the network here itself. I am a co-founder at Banner and Backbone with Lawrence Winterman, and we are doing a ton of work in the background. I am doing a ton of work in the background. All of the updates that you guys are seeing for Banner and Backbone, the new shows, the images, all of the new logoing and designs, the multi-platform streamings, that's me, guys. Like I work my ass off for this. I would love for support to come join us. We don't have founding subscribers yet for Banner and Backbone because we just haven't enabled it, but I think we're gonna start turning that on. So if anyone would be interested in becoming a founding subscriber for Banner and Backbone, Lawrence and I will have some discussions about that and see if we can get those turned on for folks. Thank you to whoever just scanned the QR code. Hell yeah. Welcome to Banner and Backbone. You got some backbone, and you're going to help us raise banners to restore integrity, service, and ethics in America. Rise with us. That's what we want to do.
I want to talk a second to you guys about supporting Banner and Backbone for a second.
Yeah,
because
go for
I've
it,
been
brother.
telling Nick that he is dying, and he needs to have. He's the other day. He was like, "We need to compensate you guys." I'm like, "No, Nick. We need to save you. Save your sanity." So go support Banner and Backbone, because what Banner and Backbone really needs right now is to build out their support on the back end, and they're not going to be able to do that. You guys need to give Nick room to breathe so he can do his poetry. He needs that weight.
Yeah, I haven't written a poem in a while.
And that's a problem, because that's what Nick does. That's what drove Nick here. That's why Nick wanted to come to Substack, to share his poetry. He's an artist. He's a composer. He makes music. He is so fucking talented, but he is gridlocked in this world of admin. And what Banner and Backbone needs is that financial support to get him those people on the team so that they can take that weight off Nick. So Nick, you should absolutely open up a founders subscriber. You should do that today. And I'm certain that people will come after this live stream and they will help you get to that point where you can get at minimum someone part-time to be doing that project management. Because if you want to see Banner and Backbone succeed, we need to support Nick in doing that.
I appreciate
so I'm calling on everyone in this chat right now to keep an eye on that. And when Nick pulls up that founders option, and at minimum become a paid subscriber, because it'll help too. But we need to help build out that back end on Banner and Backbone so that we can focus on those other things. Because people want they want a space show, and me and Nick are so excited about it.
And they want a calendar. People want like
space. He's doing this. So you guys want to go to space more than just on that back end of Palin Talk? Go become a paid subscriber to Banner and Backbone. I'm done. But that's all.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. A lot, as always. And this show itself wouldn't be possible without our friends at Centered America. And so I want to give Gavin, Sherrod. And Gavin wasn't able to make it today, but we've got Sherrod here, and Centered America is a huge part of this with us. And we've been this is 8 weeks that we've been going with these discussions. We've had them almost every week. I think we've missed 1, maybe 2 with you guys throughout all of it. And so please go support them too. Like, on top of Banner and Backbone, Sherrod, sell yourself.
Yeah, so a lot of what we started Centered America was about was to figure out the how. We were talking about elections earlier, and how we can get a third-party system going in America. And Centered America wanted to help reform the Democratic Party, but also try and figure out the how to do that. Not just what we want, but how to get there. And so Centered America, we're trying to defend democracy, resist authoritarianism, and give back resources to the people. I think we're trying to figure out how to work within the system to get out of the system, work within a system that's not working for people to leave that system and progress, just like we were talking about here. And so we'd love for you guys to subscribe to us, become paid subscribers if you can. We do breaking news posts every single day, give you very just kind of easily digestible ways to get your news for the day. So yeah.
Yeah, everything that paid for bulletin that Ron Filipkowski puts out, where you have to pay $10 a day to get a bunch of stuff, they do for free, and you can read it in 5 minutes. So,
and it's great, and they correct themselves when they're wrong.
So well done.
Like, I applaud Senator America a lot. You guys have a lot of integrity, and the work you do is amazing. Next, before we get too much over time, is our good friend Evan with news from Underground. I don't have one for Lincoln Square. Lincoln Square's got a purple check mark, and I always remind people is if people have a purple check mark and you're not already subscribed to them for paid subs, just become a free sub with them and use that money for smaller creators or the contributors themselves on those networks, like Evan. So go support News from Underground.
Exactly. If you guys want media and political critiques, policy analysis, government writing, anything and everything without any bullshit, not the watered down stuff that you're getting from corporate media, come check out News from Underground. We've got a great community over there. Got newsletters. We're putting out pieces almost every day. There's early access to the stuff that I put out on Lincoln Square. So any article that you're going to see, like, you're going to get usually 3, 4, 5 days early on my Substack. And what else? Yeah, just go subscribe. I appreciate you guys. I love this community. I love having people around. If you are able to become a paid subscriber, that does nothing but help make the work better, give me more opportunities to bring you better coverage. And but if you can't, just become a free subscriber, and that helps with the algorithm and everything too, especially with News from Underground. I know I've got Lincoln Square connected on there and everything, but with my personal Substack, it helps out a lot. And upcoming with I do a show on there called the Midweek Burn, and we've got some really great episodes coming up. I've been doing it just solo episodes, but we've got interviews coming up with Rick Wilson's going to be the first guest. And then we've got my man Nick coming up after that, and more guests to follow. So be on the lookout for that. Subscribe so you can get notified. And I appreciate you guys.
I'm super excited to be there. I can't wait to,
man.
I
to talk to
volunteer
you
as a
and
tribute.
do it.
No, don't trust me. You guys are already in the lineup. I got you.
I love it. This is what it's all about too. This is why we do it, is connecting people and
Absolutely.
making our
It's your
network.
superpower, bro. It's your superpower.
That's my superpower, is I
It is.
connect.
Yeah, no shit, right?
And then one of my favorite people on Substack is Shane Urich at the Firebrand Project.
Yeah.
He and
I
I do a
love
show
that
together
logo.
every Monday.
Thank you.
His new logo is sick as fuck.
So
too.
pretty.
Like, so cool. He's put in a lot of work and a lot of time and is doing this full time now with us. So Shane, brother, sell yourself.
Yeah. There's 500 of you here, I guess. So probably some people who actually haven't seen me before. So I'll put in a little bit more effort here. But my name's Shane. I am the founder of the Firebrand Project. Our motto is to forge dialogue and burn bright. That's what we do here. It's not about me. It's about you. It's about firebrands. And even if you're not a firebrand yet, you already are in spirit because you're here having this conversation. You're here asking questions. You're doing the why, which is what it's all about. It's the why. So if you want to get the same kind of stuff you get from Evan, I'm very focused on analysis. It's about taking the headline and putting it together, because I'm very much big picture geopolitical analysis, taking what's happening in Argentina or what's going on in Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and making it make sense. So I do a show every day, Monday through Friday, called the Firebrand Report. And what I do is I go ahead and I hit the headlines, and I'll pull those things that maybe don't look connected, and I connect them for you. And it's growing. It's great. We have over 100 people every day, and the chat is vibrant. They're having discussions, and it's what I'm so proud of, is just to see that the Firebrand community is growing, and I want you to be a part of it. I do investigative writing. I've very much shifted in that direction. Right now, I'm focused on Jared Kushner. I just released the first of the Kushner files, which is my deep dive into that piece of shit's life. And join me as you intimately get to know one of the pricks behind the scenes, because there's lots of them, but we have to focus one at a time. So go check it out and come support me at the Firebrand Project. If you can become a paid subscriber, like Nick said, I'm trying to do it full time. I'm busting my ass. I promise. Like, you're going to get money. You're going to get the value that you contribute. And I'm just so grateful to everybody who has come out of the woodworks to support me and just be part of this, because at the end of the day, what I always say on my streams and what I want to say here is, what's most important, do all the things we talk about, subscribe. What's most important is you take what we talked about today, you take it to the dinner table, you take it to your book club, to a cafe, you say it to the barista who gave you your coffee this morning. You take that and you start forging dialogues. It's the conversation beyond the live stream that is how we change the world. And it happens one interaction at a time. So please
Love it, dude.
do that.
Love it, dude. Thanks. And again, everybody go support Firebrand Project. Finally, I'll put myself up there, is Sick of This Shit Publications. Oh, and Sheridan Gavin will be on with Shane on the Firebrand Project, it sounds like, soon. I'm excited to hear that. That's
tomorrow.
Yeah,
tomorrow. Oh shit,
Tomorrow.
that'll be awesome.
Yes. Firebrands
so-
United, do that too.
Yeah. And so come join me at Sick of This Shit Publications. That's my home, where I do chronic illness discussions, community building, and masculinity talks. And I try to write my poetry, which is what brought me here, is I write poetry to decompress and on political, on mental health, on issues around me that impact my life and how I feel. And I write music. I do other things that are on the artistic side. But I'm also connecting people. That's my superpower, is I want to connect people. So come help me connect others and help get my voice out there and the word out there. Subscribe to Sick of the Shit Publications. During November, I'm doing a 50% off sale. It's well worth the money. For your first year is 50% off, or become a founding sub with me. I do offer founding subs there. And those really, really help, because that's a larger contribution each year that you're offering, that really build the stability of the system. And then again, support Banner and Backbone. That's what brings us here. That's how we get it. That's how I get all these tools up and running. We're cross-streaming on YouTube and Twitch and Substack. We're building up our audiences there. So if you also haven't become a subscriber on YouTube, subscribe over there. Follow us on Twitch. Do all the things. Help us grow in all the platforms, because then our word gets out. And then we can do more shows like the Rant Act, Vet Talks, Palin Talk, the book club, this discussion. We can bring on other creators who are willing to do work and build out their publications too while they're doing it. The Rant Act is for Melissa and Shane, just hosted on Banner and Backbone.
It's so
and that's
fun.
what we want to do.
Come over. It's great. I go off the rail. I just completely unhinged. It's the end of the day. I'm tired. It's great. It's great. It's so fun.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome. And so that concludes our big discussion today. I cannot wait for next week. This is going to be fun to see everybody back here for the window of discussion. I think we're going to keep going down this hole on new parties, and instead of asking why we can't, asking how do we. And I think that'll be a great starting point for us next week. So to the 560 people in the audience, which is our largest audience to date for this show, smash that heart. As my dogs get super excited for all of this. So smash that heart. Hit the subscribe button if you're on Substack in that top left corner, and subscribe to all of us. That gets you to all 4 contributors, plus Centered America, not shared individually, plus the network. And you can follow all our work. That's a free sub. We appreciate it. We appreciate every single one of you for coming out with us. Let's help shift this window of discussion back to a moral center and to progressive and forward-leaning values. So thanks everyone for being here with us. We'll see y'all next week. Same time, same place, every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Thanks everyone. Thanks you guys for joining.